Welcome back. It's JWalter here. In today's housing market update, I have a big update for you guys regarding mortgage application numbers from home buyers. Despite the headwinds that home buyers are facing right now, mortgage applications actually increased last week. So that's the topic of today's video. So let's go ahead and dive right into the video. So mortgage applications actually increased last week. However, there are headwinds that home buyers are facing right now. We have rising mortgage rates. Mortgage rates, by the way, the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage has increased 1.5% year to date alone. That causes a 15% drop in buyers' purchasing power. So the general rule of thumb is that for every 1% gain in mortgage rates, that causes a 10% decrease in buyers' purchasing power. So in other words, the maximum amount that a buyer would be pre-approved for, that would decrease by 10% for every 1% gain in mortgage rates. Now we're at 1.5% gain year to date. That's a big issue. Another big issue we have, of course, is near or at record high home prices across the United States on average. And of course, that's causing a big affordability crisis in the United States, mainly due to a record low housing supply, which is driving up home prices. However, I have some data to share with you guys regarding that. So more on that here in just a little bit. So here's the latest stats from the Mortgage Bankers Association, or the MBA. They actually just posted this today at the time of this video, which is the 30th of March. So don't get clickbaited by this. So mortgage applications decreased 6.8% from 1 week earlier. That's for the week ending March 25th. The reason why I say don't get clickbaited is that some people are going to run with this and say mortgage applications decreased almost 7% compared to 1 week ago. So the housing market's crashing, right? However, mortgage applications make up of two things, right? Refis and purchases. Refis are not really an indication of our health or housing market because refis are really tied to mortgage rates. When mortgage rates decrease, refis increase. Vice versa, when mortgage rates spike or increase, refis decrease greatly as well. So the better way to look at this is to have a look at their purchase index. So the unadjusted purchase index increased 1% compared with the previous week and was 10% lower than the same week 1 year ago. In contrast, the refi index, which is the main driver why mortgage applications decreased by 7%, the refi index decreased 15% compared with the previous week and was down 60% from the same week 1 year ago. So I completely understand it's hard to gauge where our housing market's headed when we only look at mortgage application numbers from 1 week earlier and also from 1 year ago. It's hard to get an idea about trends, right? So I found this graphic on the Mortgage News Daily's website. This is a refi index versus a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. So this orange line here is the rate of the 30-year fixed rate mortgage according to the Mortgage News Daily. The blue area here is a refi index. As you can see here, the refi index reached highs in August 9th of 2021. And not surprisingly, that was around when we had record low or near record low mortgage rates. So the refi index has been decreasing ever since then, and that's because mortgage rates have been increasing as well. So as you can see here, the refi index has been falling off the cliff more recently because we had this big spike in mortgage rates. In contrast, have a look at the purchase index. Here's a purchase index. Again, the orange line here is mortgage rates. As you can see here, the purchase index really peaked for the year basically in January 31st, 2022, and more or less has been decreasing, but more recently has started to increase. So the purchase index has been decreasing more or less ever since January, but more recently has been increasing. So that's pretty remarkable given the fact we have rising mortgage rates, near or at record high home prices, and of course, record low amount of supply of houses for sale. So the MBA had this to say: mortgage rates jumped to their highest level in more than 3 years last week. Not surprisingly, refinance application volume declined, and that was in line with their expectations. Even with the ongoing climb in rates, purchase application volumes were little changed last week. And they cite the reason for the decrease in mortgage applications for purchases is due to volatile mortgage rates and also the ongoing shortage of houses. Given these hurdles, it appears to be very promising news that purchase application volume has not declined, as many potential buyers are feeling the squeeze in their purchasing power from the jump in rates. In regards to housing supply or housing inventory in the US, I actually found an update on Realtor.com's website for the week ending March 19th of this year. So have a look at this. Active listings are down 18% from 1 year ago. The limited number of homes for sale is a lesson in perspective. This same stat that frustrates would-be homebuyers also means that today's home sellers enjoy even more limited competition than last year's home sellers. Indeed, many consumers recognize that housing market conditions remain tipped in favor of home sellers. Obviously, we have a strong seller's market in general in the US. Housing supply is less than 3 months. However, in order to have a seller's market, we need that figure to be 6 months or more. So in other words, we need housing supply to be almost double what it currently is to move to more buyer's market right now. So we're not seeing that just yet. In addition to longer term factors, the usual seasonality of our housing market is also nearing some of the best dynamics for home sellers. And according to Realtor.com, they say this is why we recognize mid-April or April 10th to April 16th, 2022 as the best time to list your house for sale. So here's some data to share with you guys regarding active listings. So year to date in 2022, the number of active listings, which is another word for housing supply or housing inventory, the total number of houses available for sale is down 25% a year to date. And as you can see here, the number of active listings has been fairly flat over the past few weeks. We're down about 20% year over year. Meanwhile, listing prices, which is another word for asking prices, still remain very elevated. So year to date, asking prices are up 12.5%, but for the week ending March 19th, we're up 14% year over year. In addition, houses are still selling very quickly, 10 days faster for the week ending March 19th, 2022. Okay, let's take a dive deeper into this and have a look at Redfin's data. They have a really good website for housing market data. So here's new listings. The dark line here, or the black line here, is for 2022 for the 4 weeks ending March 27th, 2022. As you can see there, new listings, which is a number of houses that get listed for sale, is down 8.9% compared to 1 year ago. The orange line here is for 2021. So at the same time last year, we were down approximately about 4%. In 2020, we're up 2.8% compared to the previous year. So here's an analogy for you guys. So housing supply or housing inventory, you can think of it as a bathtub. A bathtub is filled with water. The water would be the number of active listings available for sale. If we want the water levels in the bathtub or the number of houses for sale to increase in that bathtub, we need more new listings. That fills up the bathtub, increases supply, right? Decreases supply is when a home seller accepts an offer from a home buyer. That is a pending home sale. So have a look at this. So here are pending home sales in the US over the past few years. So the black line again is for 2022, the red line's 2020, and again 2021 is in orange. So as of the 4 weeks ending March 27th, the number of pending home sales is actually down 1.42% compared to 1 year ago. In 2021, we were actually up 45.8%, but that was because during this time in March of 2020 is when our housing market was on pause because of the COVID outbreak. So as you can see here in 2022, we had approximately 62,000 or just under 63,000 houses that were under contract. In 2021, it was approximately the same number, about 63,000. The big problem though is when you look at active listings, when you compare 2021 to 2022. So active listings, take a look at this. So here's 2022. Look how fewer houses we have available for sale compared to 2021. So even though we had basically the same number of pending listings now compared to 2021, it's pretty remarkable because we have far less houses available for sale. In 2022, we have 474,000 houses available for sale, but that's down almost 23% compared to 1 year ago. 1 year ago, we had approximately 613,000 houses for sale versus 474,000 houses for sale right now. So at least it appears right now that buyer competition is still remain very elevated given the fact we have record low inventory, but pending home sales or the number of houses that are under contract still remains very elevated. It's not to say this is going to last forever because I get a lot of comments on my YouTube channel saying, I can't believe home prices are increasing still. I'm very discouraged with this housing market. It's very challenging. However, I would say that this pace of home price appreciation, these bidding wars is definitely not sustainable. At some point, it's got to give, right? Home prices can't increase forever. We can't have rising mortgage rates spiking by this much, record high home prices, record low supply, and have home prices increase to record high levels every single month. At some point, it has to give, but it's anyone's guess when that's going to happen because we have record low housing supply. In my opinion, because we have a record low amount of houses for sale, I really don't see a housing market crash happening anytime soon. However, we definitely have a housing affordability issue, and that could cause home buyer demand to decrease. Time will tell. I hope you got a lot of value out of today's video. If you did, please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. Also, check out that link below if you want a real estate agent referral in your neck of the woods, whether you're looking to buy or sell a house. Please consider subscribing, and I'll keep you updated with the latest developments. Hope you have an awesome day, and look forward to seeing you on the next video.